And hot in here. We are live. We give it a couple minutes here and let people filter in if they want to.
Filter in.
Yeah. Happy Tuesday.
It is a happy Tuesday because I am not at work this evening.
Right?
It's
Oh,
always happy when I'm here with you.
and we always,
Oh,
I just realized I better turn my phone
I'm
down.
like, I didn't turn my phone off.
Yeah, I didn't either. Amateur.
Oh, man. Hey, and you know what that notification was?
That we were live.
Yeah.
That's what mine was.
I'm like, why did my phone go off? And I looked down, I'm like, hey, we're live on Paranormal Mystery or LEP
LEP
Productions.
Productions.
But it pops up Paranormal Mysteries. That's the picture that pops up on my thing, right?
Yeah,
So
that's so
funny.
funny. Hi, Candace.
Oh.
So we were thinking about talking because we were talking earlier about kind of your aha moment. I'm Margie. Oh, Candace said her phone went off too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That means she gets the notifications.
Right.
Thanks, Candace.
So I don't remember how the conversation started, but we were saying that like it seems, and it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like for me personally, once I started doing paranormal and then started doing paranormal mysteries and then met Tina. That was the big one that pushed me. That pushed me on in, but it
Pushed
was
off the ledge.
like it did shove me right off. It was like I got awakened or I came alive. I woke up. And it's like everything else. I remember stuff from before, but it's like some of it is looking at somebody else's life. It's real weird. Do you know what I? Hi, Chantel. Do you know what I mean by that, Tina?
Yes.
Does that make sense
it
to you?
makes it makes perfect sense to me because um and it's funny because we were talking, there's always, I say there's a reason why we meet the people that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a lot to me that you say that that was kind of your aha moment is when we all met. But it's funny, and you say you kind of woke up, and I was
Yeah.
talking about this today, and I'll show, see if I can,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So my tattoo, and it's upside down, so I apologize to everybody.
You look like you're doing Scarlet O'Hara.
I don't know how to do this. Okay, so that's
There you go. There you go. This is awake.
okay. It says awaken. It's an interactive podcast.
Right?
So my tattoo says awaken, and I got that put on my arm probably about 5 years ago because I told my Reiki master when I had started doing Reiki that it was like an awakening for me. Um, I met a gentleman that completely by chance, he contacted the group that I was in, Opus, because he wanted us to do he wanted us to investigate his house,
Mhm.
and then proceeds to tell us through conversation that he is also just starting to open up as a psychic medium. Not quite understanding his gifts, but he really wants to start investigating so he can explore that. And so we kind of got together with him, and him and I clicked instantly. And he told me that he looked at me the first time I met him. And the first time we met each other, it was funny because we were like this through car windows at each other, like just, and I didn't know him. I didn't know him worth beans. There was four of us girls that met up with him at a coffee shop
Hi, Mark.
to make sure we were safe. We said just meet us at this Tim Hortons, and because then we're in a public spot, we're meeting up with this guy. We have no idea who he is.
Right.
But we drove by in the car. We drove past a truck, and I could see a guy sitting in a truck, and I went, "That's him." And we both, like Mo and I, both waved at each other like we were little kids. It was so funny. And then we sat down and we started talking, and he looked at me and he said, I don't think you realize the gifts you have inside of you. And I kind of looked at him like, you're crazy. I'm just an investigator. Like, I'm an investigator and I read tarot cards. That's all I do.
Right.
And then the more I talked to him, the more I started, when I opened up, when I
Jody.
finally opened up, it was like everywhere I walked was a banquet hall of spirit. And I couldn't shut it off. I had to learn how to shut it off. And he was learning at the same time. So we were kind of learning together, right?
Okay.
And then he said, I'm going to take my Reiki 1 training. I would like for you to join me. Okay, why not? And then finished we finished our Reiki training together all the way to our masters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we used to work on each other for practice.
Mhm.
And he was honestly, he used to investigate with me. Great partner. And he kind of, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, which is funny because we actually started dating later on and we broke up and it was really messy. And so, I mean, we
You're
don't
better
talk
off
to
as
each.
friends.
Yeah, we don't even talk to each other. We have not spoke to each other since we split up
Aw.
for, yeah. And
But
we actually, it
you
was
got,
5 years ago we did all of this. And then 4 years ago we split up and we've not spoke to each other since.
you guys were like a stepping stone for
Yeah,
each
that's
other.
exactly what it was. He was just a lesson.
Right.
And had we not dated, I probably wouldn't have been involved as I was.
Yeah. Did you see
And
Mark's comment? He said he received an email a couple weeks ago. This woman claims that she has demons in her home. What's your take on this?
oh, um, I don't believe she has demons in her home.
Hi, Donna. No, I don't think it's. Those are so hard to. I've been investigating 9.5 years. I've never ran into anything like that.
Demons?
Hmm.
I
Well,
ran it.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like in someone's home. I'm not talking about Hell's Bar.
Oh, I don't think that would. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not. That's a class all its own.
I've run into negative stuff. Um, Nothing I would ever classify as a demon.
Mm-mm.
I'm not educated enough in the ways of.
And
I'm
I
not
know
educated.
enough to back out if it were to be something. I know enough to say, hey, this is above my pay grade. Let me get you in contact with somebody else.
I I
Hi,
think
Jody.
what I'm getting off of it, Mark, what I'm reading off of it, is that there is something that's grumpy. I don't even want to say negative, something grumpy in her house that's causing uh, some kind of interference,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. But I think she's so scared of what's going on in the house that she's manifesting it into being something dark and evil, and it's not necessarily dark and evil.
It's just
It's
letting
just,
her go ahead and think that because it's getting its
yeah,
way.
yeah, it's getting attention. It's like with a kid. You know, when a kid does something bad, and we always say negative attention is still attention.
Right.
That's what this is. It's
I
just
said that
the
was
bad.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Jay, the spirit's just being a bad kid right now.
Yeah.
So, I
But
mean, not.
that doesn't mean to go in there and not be cautious.
That's right. So, are you guys going to investigate, Mark? Because if so, you guys are safe to go in and investigate, but
No, he said she's just looking for
looking for
guidance.
guidance. Okay. Someone could probably go in and smudge the house and she would be fine.
Yeah. Jay
So,
sent me this thing over Messenger that had all kinds of smudges on it.
oh wow.
Um, it was really cool on like if you use this scent, it means this. Um, like for instance, if you smudge with alfalfa,
Yeah.
it says associated with psychic abilities and attracts animal spirits.
Oh,
And there's a whole list. I'll post this on my Facebook page,
yeah.
so anybody that would like it can see it too. Cloves for protection and exorcism, attracting opposite sex. It's funny how they put exorcism and attracting the opposite sex in there together.
Not to be confused with attracting the same sex.
Right?
Some of us like both.
You know what?
With
Teach their own.
sorry.
Lavender brings peace, restful sleep, purity, and love. It's really neat.
That's cool.
White sage clears negative energies from objects, spaces, or people.
I know people that need sage shoved down their throat.
Yeah, there's not enough sage.
Not enough sage in the world for some
No,
people.
no. And I wonder if everybody got together and every house burnt sage, if it would make 2020 any better.
Frick. I'll burn every day.
Right? I'm like, holy crap. Yo,
Shameless plug. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go right ahead.
I was going to say anybody that's interested in getting any smudge sticks or anything for smudging made up specifically for something like attracting the opposite sex. Let's go with that one.
Why
But
not?
Three Sisters Smudging
Yeah,
um, makes sticks. I've
wonderful.
gone to I've made sticks with Tina Ronan before, and I'll tell you, her stuff is fantastic. Their stuff is awesome, just awesome. The love and attention they put into making it, on top of the different herbs and um, stuff that they put in there. It's just, if anybody, I'll post the link later on my page. If anybody's interested in getting smudge sticks for specific qualities, look them up because they'll ship too. So
Yes, they do. And she
yeah,
is amazing.
awesome.
Tina is awesome. Chantel says she has a list of herbs to sage with and what they do.
That's awesome.
So maybe you can post yours, Chantel, and we'll kind of compare. That would be good. I was trying to make sure I hadn't missed anything in here. So, do you know I haven't saged at all? I have not saged my house since I've been off work.
Really?
Yeah,
Whoa,
I don't know why.
there's an aha moment.
Uh, no, Dawn, I don't think so. I'm thinking that I probably should do that tomorrow.
I would.
I'm thinking
I've
I should.
I've smudged my house more since this whole COVID thing started than I have in the last 2 years.
I haven't smudged since actually right before I left work. So it's been since the 1st of April.
I have to be careful. Hunter's allergic to it,
You'd be
so
careful with your sage.
I have to wait until he. I always told him that's because he's got the demons in him, but I have to wait till Hunter leaves the house before I can sage the house. So
Now, is he okay to like if you sage now and then he comes an hour later?
yeah, then we're okay.
Okay. Just as
And
long as
it's
the smoke has died down.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because he kept telling me he was allergic and I kept telling him he was crazy. And then, well, Mo, the guy I was talking about earlier, he said to me, Tina, he could be allergic to it. It's like, it's an actual thing. I'm like, what? You're crazy. And sure enough, I
Oh,
smudged one more time and he was like to the point where he almost couldn't breathe.
Oh
Like,
wow.
oh wow, okay, forget it. No more.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Chantel said her aunt said that her house has been really active in the last few weeks. Are you getting anything?
The first thought that came to mind, Chantel, was full moon.
Mm-hmm. Is that your cat or mine?
That's yours.
Okay.
Mine's sitting very quietly beside me,
You're
actually.
a good boy.
He is being nice.
Um, yeah, the full moon and people. Yeah, excuse
Bless
me.
you.
People are just. I don't. I've been off of work for a month, and I go out and I go to the grocery and I come back home. That's all we do. I haven't missed it. I have not missed work. I have not really missed going out amongst a whole lot of people. Um, have gotten on my nerves. I'm not even on Facebook all that much. I'll get on there maybe once a day and kind of check things out, and then I'm off because there's so much negative stuff, and all people are doing are complaining and whining. And I want to do that too, but I do it to Jay. So
Ah,
I don't,
yeah.
you know. Um, Chantel said they've got lots of shadows and noises. We have had a ton of noises here.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of noises besides the cat behind me. Um, but we've also seen a lot of things. Different. Oh yeah, I probably should smudge my house tomorrow. I'm thinking about all this. Um, we've seen things. Jay has seen things.
Chantel, I think your aunt's house, and I don't know if I'm off base with this or not, but I'm getting an older gentleman that's related to her has been wandering around lately. But I get that it's been for a few months. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's
Mark says he went to Carriage House Saturday. It was completely dead. He said nothing, zero, zilch.
that's weird.
At the Whitney,
Yeah.
where I said I saw the lady sitting at the table.
Yes. Yep.
Mark, that's still on my bucket list is to come to the Whitney.
That's funny. I don't know that I ever told Mark that story about the carriage house. Did you ever talk about that?
I don't know. I don't even remember. Chantel says it could be her dad.
Oh.
Um, I don't remember. We were talking. It was on Facebook, wasn't it? I can't remember how I got
I
there.
think, pardon me, sorry. We had a live going, and I think you had tuned into the live and you said, "Who's the lady sitting at the table?" And you described, what else did you say? Something about she was watching something.
She kept looking out the window. There was a window. There was a tea set. There was like she was sitting there for tea, and she kept looking out the window like she was waiting for something.
Mark, Teresa read all of this before she actually saw anything from the Whitney.
Yeah, you
And
guys did a live. You were there investigating with them, and it popped up because you guys were live,
before we went into the room.
and before you guys went into the room,
Yeah.
because I didn't know where. Actually, I don't think they ever went into the room that I saw because you told me that they were going to be there, but later
Yeah.
you were still in the Whitney,
Yeah.
and I had to get off the phone. off the live, so I didn't get to do it.
Very impressive, right, Mark? When she read all of that, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list to come.
Because if you go up into the carriage house, one of the stories is Grace Whitney used to sit at a table and look out the window and watch the horses run in the pasture behind um, the carriage house. And at the table is a tea set.
Okay.
And if you move that tea set, or if you, Mark, I wish Mark was around. Pretty rough, Tina. Ceiling's not looking good. I know it is. It's starting to really, it needs to be fixed up, the carriage house. Um, Mark, can you type in the story about, I wish I could just bring you on live, but the story about the nurses that moved Grace's table and what happened. I believe, I don't want to say this wrong, but I believe the table or the tea set was moved and then activity picked up like crazy. What was that bang?
I don't know.
You did. I saw you spin around. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that heard that.
Yeah. Hi, John. Yeah, that was kind of weird because that's like the end of the house. There was nobody, nothing there. Hi, Bob.
Annie.
Yeah, I remember when I was reading the Whitney, or the it was the carriage house, but they were at the Whitney. I remember, wasn't there something, and I may be getting confused because it's been a while. Wasn't there also something about a child?
Oh, there's kids up in the carriage house as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like there, I was getting something about a child
Hmm.
also. John said he heard it too. At least we know we're not nuts.
See, we're not crazy. Well,
It almost sounded to me,
but
it almost sounded like somebody threw a couple
or
of like,
something like
yeah,
rocks.
yeah, like rocks, like pebbles. And I know
Hmm.
I don't have pebbles in my house.
There's the cat again.
Yeah.
Meow. Hmm.
Yeah. And then Jay says, shut up.
Picked up in the mansion.
Okay.
We moved it about a year ago and all hell broke
Uh-huh.
loose. See, so don't move the table, don't move the china is the
Got it.
rule.
Mental
Uh,
note. Got it.
but honestly, even just to walk into the Whitney itself, the mansion is the architecture of the mansion itself is just unbelievable. The food is unbelievable. And then of course, you've got the ghost stories that go along with it too, right?
Right.
But
JD was saying in the chat that she got married at the Whitney.
I saw that. I'm like, activity on the top floor. Yes, there is, Jody, very much so. There's a lot of stories. I don't want to tell too many of the stories, Treese, because I would rather you just walk in
Yeah.
and read the building, right? But
Yeah.
it is a very beautiful building, and the Marks are always, um, Mark Ortiz is just such a dear friend, and he's kind of from the minute I met him, kind of taken me under his wing like a little sister, and it always invites me to the Whitney with them whenever they go, and it's almost become like a second home to me now. It's such an amazing building, and the boys are their family.
Yeah.
Um, they're such good people. So if anybody wants to, they once all of this COVID stuff is done, um, when the Whitney reopens, watch for the guys doing paranormal dinners, um, because they have a fantastic. Shut up, Mark.
What nights are there paranormal dinners usually?
They're the first and last Sunday of the month.
Sundays? Okay.
Yep. And it's you have a four-course meal, and then they do a presentation, and after the presentation you get to go do a small, like a short investigation at the carriage house. Again, I don't know what's going to take place after COVID. If you're
Right.
fortunate enough that they do continue with these paranormal dinners and you're in the area, watch for it, because if they continue to do it, they are awesome.
I'm gonna have to take a Monday off of work
Yeah, yeah.
so I can come up.
So you take the whole weekend. You can come over to Canada. We'll do the Park House one night. We'll go do
Yeah.
Whitney one night. Oh yeah, it'd be great.
Yes, that would be a cool weekend because that's two buildings that I read without being there.
Hmm.
And that was the when we did the park house, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, if they continue. That's why I said, so Mark said they're going to be much smaller than they were before, and that's if they even continue with the dinners. So that's why I said, if keep an eye out, because if they do continue to do them, it's one heck of a night that you definitely want to take them up on. But
Okay. Jody said she also lived 4 blocks from Franklin Castle.
I'm not sure where Franklin Castle is.
Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Okay. I've driven through Cleveland once.
We went on the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
We kind of like drove around it.
Once or twice. You know what? I think I drove past it twice on the way to, I went to Madison Seminary twice
We
a couple of
probably did
years ago. Yeah.
because when we were coming home from the winery that's over by Madison, we
Okay.
came home. We came home along the lake and then dipped down. It was kind of cool because we got to see where 71 started because it was the start of the interstate right
Wow.
there. It was like, oh wow, you
That's
just kind of like
cool.
you're on the interstate going this way, and you just kind of curve around and it starts 71. You go on. It was really neat.
Cool.
I've never heard of the Holly Hotel.
No, neither have I.
She said she hasn't been there yet.
To Madison, you know what? Um, it's a really bizarre building.
Madison.
Yeah, it's, yeah. I went twice with DPX, and
Check
there's
it out.
just, yeah, really weird, odd things happened. One time there was just, um, that was the first investigation I went on with DPX,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my first time going into a building that big to investigate, and it was awesome. We got a lot of really cool stuff that night. Um, the second time I went with Annie Weevil and Sam Henderson when they had cops, and we all went together, like the two teams went together, and it was just like, it was funny because Sam, um, the minute I met him, he said, "You come with me," and he grabbed me, and we went for a walk. That was another one of my aha moments, actually, was with Sam, because we went for
I
a
love the
walk.
state.
And he says to me, "What do you get?"
Hi,
Mm.
Stephen.
So I read the building a little bit, and he said, "Very good. Now, what do you get about me?" Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
read him, and he looked at me. He goes, "Wow, you're really good." And I'm like, "Ah, that's awesome," because somebody I didn't know from Beans, and I didn't read in front of people back then.
Yeah.
So that was a, all right, I can do this moment.
Mm-hmm. When I did, hi, Christine. Um, when I met you for the first time,
Hmm.
when we were down at Higginsport, that whole weekend was kind of that day, that Saturday was kind of a whirlwind.
It was bizarre.
But we weren't going to go.
Mhm.
We were going to go support another event that nobody went to. So we ended up leaving there. I think I can't remember if I called Brandy or if I called Todd. I think it was Todd and said, hey, can we still come? And you guys were almost there. And he said, yeah. I said, we're going to be a little bit, but we'll get there.
Mhm.
And then that was the night that I ended up having to do a rescue with you.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time that we met, was that
So you
night.
guys did that energy push on me.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was our first. And I remember thinking, Tina's going to think I've absolutely lost my mind.
Nope, I fell in love.
But it was like, I don't care, because I had never seen somebody that when actually put holy water on you, you cringed that
Oh,
night.
it's
And
funny. I haven't talked about that in a long time, actually.
yeah, yeah, that was really different. Um, but I had never seen anybody do that before, and I was like, oh crap, I've got to pull this out of her. And then, because when I pull something out of people like that, which I've done several times, I always, when I pull it out, I take it in, and then I go somewhere and I expel it. I get sick.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, God, I'm going to have to get sick in front of these people that I don't know. And I remember after it was done, because Brandy couldn't give me enough push,
Yeah.
and I hollered for somebody to get Jay, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Jim. I say, get Jay, get Jay. And Jay's like, what do you need? He stood behind me. I was like, no, stand behind Brandy and just push through. And that was enough. That was what got it through. Have we felt intimidated by a reading before?
Yes.
Like a personal reading? Um, I don't I don't know how I would be. I don't know how to say it, if I was intimidated or not. But I remember thinking, it was with Scotty, and I remember thinking, damn, you know, how did he know this before I realized that I could do it too?
Hmm.
You know, um, I don't know that I've ever. And then with Scotty, he like the next time we were together, Jody said she's never heard of this push technique.
Hmm.
It's basically somebody stands. Like, I'll use Tina for an example. Tina had something that she had taken in, and or had jumped in.
Like an attach. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a
like
like
an
an
attachment.
attachment.
So I stand behind the person, and somebody stands in front of them, and they start pushing energy through that person toward me, and I just keep taking it in and taking it in, opening myself up and taking it in, and it's kind of like shoving stuff through a screen. Is how what I envision. You're shoving through the screen. You're shoving the energy through the screen to get out all the junk. And then once I take it in, and I know that that person's cleared, then I go around the corner, wherever, and I expel it. I get sick. And I had somebody else had said that they did this the same way, and I don't remember for the life of me who it was, because it's really not very many people do it this way, and I don't
No.
exactly recommend it.
We had to do it one night with Jax. She got hijacked. And I said to the girls, I looked at Brandy that night and I said, do you remember, Jane Teresa? And she said, yeah. I said, we have to do it. I said, so start pushing energy. And I couldn't pull enough out. And then I made Margie stand behind her
Push
and
through.
keep pushing through and nothing. And then I said to Megan, put your hand on each of their shoulders and push through. And I remember yelling at them, physically push her, because they weren't pushing enough through. And I just kept gagging and gagging. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. So then we finally pulled whatever we could off of her. And same thing, got sick. And I was like, okay, as soon as I got sick, I'm like, I know we did it right.
yeah, yeah.
But it's
I
a really cool technique.
I don't recommend it for everybody. Um, are you reading what Chantel put in there?
Yeah, in the 1600s, that would be cool.
Yeah, it would. I have never. I did one past life, and it was back in the pioneer days. And I
Hmm.
remember with the lady that we did it. Um, she kept going. What did you get? What did you get? Because we were in this great big room. It was like a gallery thing, and I kept saying, "I nothing. It's okay. Don't worry about it." Because everybody else in the room got, oh, I was Cleopatra, I was Pocahontas, I was, they were all these, and I was this poor woman, a pioneer woman with all these kids running around and no husband, and I was miserable and tired, and it was just horrible. And she goes, Teresa, I want you to tell me. And I told her, she goes, you're the only one that probably got a true
True. Past
past
life.
life.
Yeah.
I was like, well, it sucked. It was horrible. I wonder if somebody could do, because I've never done past life like that. I wonder if they could do, like, if we were together.
We got in trouble a lot.
I'm sure we did.
Which is funny because one of my past lives, I've had someone read my past life, and it's really weird. My sister, for my birthday one year, got me set up with a psychic. She went to go see this psychic, and then she paid for another session and set it up for me and didn't tell the lady that we were sisters.
Okay.
And so when I sat down, she said, do you have any questions for me? And I asked her a few questions, and she responded. And then she said, I've got one past life for you. And it's really strange because it kind of co- it corresponds with somebody that I read not too long ago. And the story she told my sister and my story corresponded. And she said, you two were sisters in a past life, and I think you've come back again together.
Oh, wow.
I'm like,
That's really cool.
wow. And it was from the 1600s, and it was that we we practiced. So
Mhm.
with the herbal medicine and the smudging and the, like, what was considered witchcraft back then. It
Right.
it wasn't, but I mean, what was considered witchcraft.
And
So I
in
wonder if
Appalachia, they
that
would have
was
considered it granny medicine.
with that.
In Appalachia, back in the
Yeah.
Appalachians, they would have considered that a granny medicine.
Yeah. Like it's medicine everywhere
Yeah.
else, but I wonder if that's when you were coming through with me and my sister back then.
Oh, well, that would be neat.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
But I think what I think would be cool is if we could get together and have somebody read us like at the same time.
Well, Chantel actually um, doesn't live too far from me. We've done stuff together. She's volunteered with PO3 to do stuff. Um,
Okay.
so maybe Chantel, if you're interested, if Teresa comes into the area, could you maybe do a reading for Teresa and I, if you're
So,
interested? Yeah. Granny meds. John's
mm,
gonna let us do granny meds for him.
yeah. Well, that's and he's from Kentucky, and his family, is from there, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Cool.
Um, he's on the other side of the state than what my family is from. Oh, thanks, Chantel.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you.
That would be so much fun.
That's awesome. Chantel's really, she is very gifted in many different avenues for sure. She's a really gifted empath as well. And she's just started, I think you've just started reading in the last year, right, Chantel? I think it's been in the last year, but
It's
yeah,
hard
she's
to start doing.
it is. But she dove in. Like we had a talk the one day and she just dove in head first and she was like, this is what I'm doing with my life. And I'm like, holy shit, good for you. Like,
My thing was, um, yeah, John said his family's all over those mountains. Yeah.
mm,
Um, my thing was, and I kept saying, "What if I'm wrong?" And that was the big thing. Is I hate to be wrong about something,
Yeah.
and so I think that's part of what it is. And it's like I hate to be wrong about something, but if I am, I am. And I don't need your help in getting in trouble with anything. I can do that all on my own. So I kept saying, because Tina was like, why don't you do readings? Why don't you do readings? This was probably about a year ago. A little over,
Mhm.
yeah, probably about a year. And I was like, no, I can't. What if I'm wrong? And you said, so what? Then you're wrong.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, like that's an option? The boys?
Huh?
Is that one of the boys?
Yeah, can you hear them?
Well, no, you were like, okay.
Because they're wondering, because they know when I'm online, they got to be quiet. You can lean your head in and at least say hi to people, since you're going to wander around downstairs where you're not supposed to be.
Hi.
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 Oh, Martin.
That's my buddy. Chantel says she doesn't even need cards now. She's so wide open.
And you know what? She's got a beautiful deck that actually um I bought a deck from her that I haven't been able I bought it with the intent to use it, and I haven't been able to use it yet. It's just not it's not melding with me yet, and I'm very sad because I love the deck. It's beautiful, but I'm like,
Is that the deck that you had at 101 one night? And you said you had just gotten it and hadn't been able to use it yet?
yes, that's the deck.
Hi, Ashley. Yeah, I remember you say, because I was like, oh, come on, give me, do them for me, do them for me. And you're like, I can't. I don't know this deck that I don't know it.
Yep.
It was
It
fun to
just
pick
didn't
up.
want to resonate with me. I'm waiting. I've got that, and I've got a Phoenix deck that my friend gave me, and the
Oh,
Phoenix deck is beautiful. Again, beautiful, beautiful deck, but I just can't connect with it right now. And I don't know why. So I'm just not meant to read them right now, I guess.
I was going to say maybe you're just not meant to do tarots right now.
Yeah, I will. I'll get back into it eventually, but I think just right in the last year or so, I've just been doing too many other things.
Well, like she said,
So
she's wide open and doesn't need them. Maybe
yeah,
you are.
I don't typically like I still use cards as a visual when people come over. It helps me stay focused. Um, when I do readings for people, I use my tarot deck and I use crystals still and my pendulum because it keeps me focused. But when I start doing mediumship work, cards are out the window. I don't use
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
John just put out here, he says, I found out not too long ago I'm related to many of those that were killed in the Salem witch trials. Actual
Wow.
blood relative to Proctor family.
No
Wow.
kidding.
And
So
John has
cool.
gifts.
Really?
Hmm.
He's a very gifted musician, I'll tell you that.
That he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. John, I love when you put stuff up online, when you put your music up online. So I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a John fan.
I've known John for several years now.
Candace, I just read right now. I'm nervous doing it online. Face to face to me, I'm more in my comfort, like more of a comfort. I was like that for a long time. I just started doing readings online in the last year. It's a very, it's really hard to get past that hump. But once you do, you become more comfortable with it the more you do it.
I see, I've done
So
them online. I haven't done them really in person.
in person, you can connect like that.
I've not done them.
It's just it's totally different to do online readings.
And it's easier for me personally um, to use to read when I'm on location, to read like the building.
Yeah.
That's easier for me. I can go into the building and just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
To me that's easy.
Mhm.
Um, but I was surprised the first night that we did readings. here how things just came out.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, okay. Because when you said the one time you said we were going to do readings online the next night, and I was like, oh, really? We are.
Yes, we are.
She
We're
threw me
gonna
in
do
the pool
this.
without my swimmies.
Here you go. No water wings, and you go.
Yep. It's like trying to eat that Oreo cookie with that water wing. You just can't do it.
It's good though. You got to dive in. And I find that with life in general, there's so many aspects of life that you've just got to dive in and try it. And if you fail, then you fail and you try again. And you keep trying until you get it. It's not, I shouldn't say fail. There's no such thing as failure. Everything is learning, right? So if you jump in and you don't achieve the goal that you wanted to, well, you learn what you did wrong and
Right.
you switch it up and you try again.
Yeah.
But
I just haven't, like I said, I hate to make a mistake. And I think that's why. And I'm learning to get over that. Oh, thank you, Ashley.
see,
Tinch says that the basement at 101 is something not to take lightly.
yes. Has John been to 101?
Yeah, he was there at our last one.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there at our last one, and it was it was harsh. I see, Jody, when I'm doing healing, I don't even it's like that part shuts down for me. I've not even tried to open up with any to get any messages when I'm doing a healing with somebody. Have you done that, Tina? Have you?
If
See,
I'm
I'm just
doing if I'm doing Reiki, I try I it's not my intent to do any kind of reading while I'm doing Reiki, but if something comes up, then I give the messages. I don't I don't I, I try and focus just on the Reiki. And I shouldn't even say Reiki because the way that I do healing is I took my Reiki training, but I do it differently. Like the way you do your fire pulling.
I was gonna say I took my Reiki training too, and I'm a master, but I don't use it.
Yeah, it's like you do fire pulling and mine's more of a push. So what I do is like I start at the head and I just push through white light and
Hmm.
then I go down to the feet and I pull from the feet and I ground. And I don't work a lot like in this area. I just kind of push I vision myself pushing everything through. So,
Yeah, I've gotten to where when I'm doing the fire pulling, um, if somebody's a little uncomfortable, I can actually pull from their wrist.
yes. Oh, I've
It
seen you do
takes
that
me
before.
it takes me a little bit to do it because I have to like envision it going through their body and coming down to their right knee and then grabbing. I see it like grab and then I see it pull back out. It takes me more to do that, but I can do it.
Hmm.
But see, when I'm done, like if I'm doing a just somebody just wants an all over healing,
Hmm.
and I do it for them where I pull from their hands and their neck, their head. I do the whole shebang. Then when I'm done, I have to take a minute and you talk about the white light because what I envision is that they look like Swiss cheese. They've got holes.
Hmm.
And I can see those holes. And so I go to the top of their head and I just start pushing white light
Hmm.
until I see those holes fill up.
Hmm.
And then once I see them all fill up, then I know I'm done.
Hmm.
But that's how I know, I do the white light, but you start off with white light, push it through.
Yeah. And I do a lot of sweeping. Like mine's a lot of sweeping off the energy
Hmm.
once it's all pushed through too, right? So it's everybody's got their own way. I, that's why I don't teach Reiki like you. We both have our certification. There's no
Hmm.
reason why we can't teach it. It's just we both heal differently
Yeah.
from each other. from traditional Reiki, so I don't feel comfortable teaching it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. I don't feel comfortable. Um, I wouldn't even really feel comfortable telling somebody that I'm doing a Reiki session on them because I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't use. Oh, thanks, Jody. Jody, where do you live at now? Yeah, I don't need your street address, but just what,
Ah, I
because
think she's in Michigan, closer to me.
I was gonna say I think she's closer to you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks to
Aw,
Teresa Lynch. I'm reading John's right now.
yeah.
Let her in as far as they want to venture.
Tina's
Don't do
from
that just
Canada,
anyone.
from
Yeah,
Ontario.
Oakland County, Michigan. So that's not too far from me. Well, closer to
Okay.
me than you, I think. Yeah, I live in Amherstburg, Ontario. It's probably about a half an hour south of Detroit in Canada. I'm right where the mouth of the Detroit River opens up into Lake Erie. So,
It's funny because I don't have my passport. I can't go across the border. And one night, I think it was when I'd had one of my first knee surgeries, Tina had really bad indigestion. And I was like, oh, let me see if I can help you. Because at that point in time, I was I would take my pain medication and I was traveling all over the place. I was visiting people. It was wild. I said, well, let me see if I can come visit you, Tina, and help you. So what I physically did was I shut my eyes and it was like I was flying up 75 and I'm just tooting it along. And then I had to cross the bridge and I knew I had to turn right. So I crossed the bridge and I turned right and I just kept going until I saw this blue, like, beam of light coming out of this house. And I was like, oh, I bet that's Tina's house. So I go over there and I go in, and that was her. So after I did my healing on her, I was telling her, you feel better? Yeah. I said, well, I found your house because you had a blue beam of light coming out of it. And she's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Because she was sending me healing and you use the blue
I
light.
use blue light.
And I didn't have any idea about that at the time.
I don't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody about that
That
at
was
that
so funny.
time. That was just the only one that knew was my cousin. Because when I started my healing, I was like 17 when I started doing this kind of stuff. And my cousin, I told her, but I never told anybody else. So
Yeah.
when you said blue light, I'm like, shut up, it works. Oh my God, it works. But see, they use that expression, let your weird light shine so other weirdos can find you.
That's right. We did.
Right there, we did.
Yes, Jody, we do need to get together.
Yeah.
Becky Jo says that, oh, she does the healing, but her shop, it's called Compassionate Healing. It's a mix of
Mixture of
healing.
healing styles. Yes.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be cool. Make me feel. And Candace says,
She has pressure points on the feet.
oh, that's cool.
I don't like feet.
I love feet.
Oh, I
Feet are
hate.
good. They're grounding. You gotta.
I don't like feet.
Holy smokes, Jody.
Right?
Yeah, everybody's got, and it's funny because you and I both have said everybody's got their own style. And you have to find what works for you in order to stay true to yourself.
Well, and I think you got to find out what works for you and what you do in order to help others,
Yes.
to make it work for you.
Yes.
Because I don't know about you, but when I do healing on somebody, it makes me feel better. I do healing on them. I feel good because I helped somebody.
Heartburn.
And that, um, hi, Marianne. Hi, Jamie. Jamie, we were talking about you earlier today.
Hmm.
I don't know what bars is.
No, neither do I.
I mean, I go to bars. I don't think it's the same.
Do they have whiskey?
Oh, I didn't tell you. I discovered that I like honey whiskey. Honey, I discovered
Honey
that.
Jack?
Yeah, actually, I think it was American honey. That's what it's called, wild turkey. But it was
Wild turkey.
that's a whiskey.
That's a bird.
Well, that's true too, and it's really good too. But
Goddamn rednecks.
yeah.
You know that old wild turkey?
I don't like Thanksgiving, or I didn't used to like Thanksgiving for the reason that I don't like turkey. But when I got married, Jay's dad had went turkey hunting and got a turkey, and they had it for Thanksgiving. And I was like, John says, tasty bird. Yes, it is. And I was like, I don't know if I can eat it, Jay. I don't know. He says, just give it a try. Since then, I've been a believer. I love it. There is such a difference in taste.
We're going to take your wild turkey and wrap it in bacon and cook it and have the best of both worlds.
That would be.
Right? And drizzle it with maple syrup.
Access the bars. We connect 32 points in the skull and kind of reset the brain. Oh, wow. Chantel, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Was the blue beam almost like a sparkle light? It was just a blue pillar, a light blue pillar that came out. Real pretty.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You picked a good shade. John says, so John, when we do this turkey, that we're gonna wild turkey, that we're gonna wrap it in bacon. We'll have you up for dinner.
Yeah, if he comes up, I'll come down.
Okay.
And we'll do the turkey. But I expect moonshine.
There you go.
Nah, I'll bring beer.
Lord, no. Oh, just don't bring any of that one that you brought.
Naughty neighbor?
Yeah. Juicy ass wasn't any good either.
Juicy Flying Monkey is great beer. They have great beer.
The hibiscus one was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That one was good.
But you didn't like the juicy ass.
Chantel says it's energy work. I'm all about that. I love that. When Jay and I first introduced Jason to energy work, we were standing in, because he was a big skeptic, not almost to the point of a non-believer.
Yes.
And we were in the middle of a hallway at Post Town. Nobody was around. And Jay was on one in front of him, and I was behind him. And we're like, okay, close your eyes and tell us what you're going to feel. And we were both pushing and pulling energy. And he literally, I was worried he was going to fall because he was doing this bit. And he started swaying really bad. And I was afraid that he was going to fall.
That's awesome. He believes in it now.
Yes, he does. John says, I've got some shine that'll knock your pecker straight if you have one.
Oh, is that what that means? I'm like, I don't understand what he's saying.
It's another word for pee-pee.
Yeah. Yeah. I caught that after you read it. I'm like, oh.
Did you do Reiki on the crown of a person? Have you ever seen colors? Yes. The first time I ever saw someone's aura, I was down at Victory of Light listening to someone give a lecture. And I was watching him, and I kept looking my head down, and I'd look up again, and I would see it again. I thought there was something wrong with me because I had no idea, because there was like this white gold glow around them, and I kept looking down, and I'd rub my eyes, and I look back up, and finally the person that we were with says, "What are you talking about? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, she had this thing around her. She goes, "You saw her aura." I said, "Her what?" I had no idea what she was talking about. At that point, I was so new. I did not know, and I was like, I don't. But I don't normally see them.
I started out with that when I first started. Um, I had dream visits, and I was really good with a spirit board, and I could see auras. And then I scared myself, and I stopped reading for I stopped reading for 10 years. I shut down, completely
Oh
shut
wow.
down. I'm like, I'm done with this. I actually said something the other day is that I want to get back to the spirit board and start using the spirit board again because I haven't done so in I haven't used a spirit board to communicate in probably 25 years. So I think it's time.
We'll have to do one together.
Yeah, it's time to. That would be cool, actually.
And I've got several here. So
Yeah.
Jody says she has a question. She had a dream the other night, and a man appeared and looked up at her like she wasn't supposed to see him. It was significant, but I don't know why.
She had a. I would say it was a visit from
Okay,
somebody.
that's what I was just thinking. And he was shocked that she could see him
Yeah.
because at that point, it's like you have a foot in both worlds. Do you? I don't know why, but I just got like he was dying, but came back. So he wasn't supposed to be there yet.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ashley, I would love to do a board with you.
Hmm. Now, Ashley, where are you at?
She's I we can get to her through Ashmore.
Oh, okay.
Her and her son Austin came and helped Jay and I do the special needs group
Oh,
2 years,
wow. Okay.
and we had
Awesome.
so much fun.
They're a great group to work with. So, all
It was,
right. You know what? It is 9:02.
Melissa, we're talking about using a spirit board, a talking board, or a Ouija board, whatever you want to call it. I'd be very picky on who I use it with.
Hmm.
Um, she says she's a spirit walker, so it makes sense.
There we go.
If I knew that I was supposed to do a spirit board with Tina tonight, and she came in and she was all kinds of upset and had a bad day and was just in a horrible mood, I'm not doing it. I love Tina, but I wouldn't do it
Hell
because
no.
mind, her mind's not where it needs to be.
Like attracts like. So if I'm in a terrible mood, I'm going to attract not so hot spirit.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why
Ashley,
when sorry,
no.
um, when I do investigations, if I'm not feeling it, I don't investigate because I won't put my team at risk.
Yeah.
I've backed out of some really great locations because I didn't want to put my team at risk.
Yeah, I haven't.
So
Um, I haven't been to where I'm not feeling it yet. I'm sure I will at one point or another.
I passed up on Hinsdale House
Oh,
because I wasn't, and Brian, Ohio, I've had to pass on because I wasn't in the right headspace. And back then, Brandy and I read together, and I I was afraid that the way that I was feeling, I would attract negative things that would affect her, and I was doing it more to protect Brandy than
right.
anything, right? If that makes sense. I didn't
Yeah.
want my negativity to affect Brandy. Well, there was Brandy, Jeff, and Margie, Jeff Fent.
Hmm.
And I said I can't put them at risk because of what I might attract because of my headspace.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I just personally, I just haven't felt like that yet. Like I said, I'm sure that I
Yeah.
will. I'm sure I will, you know, in time. Let's see. Well, I guess, Jody, it did make sense when I said that he was there, but he shouldn't have been because she helps people cross.
Yeah.
So that's why that was what that's what I immediately thought of anyway.
Hmm.
Because it was like, oh no, oh no. And then nothing, like, boom, went away.
Hmm.
So, well, I think we need to hop off of here.
Yeah.
So we
We're
will,
lucky the boys aren't doing stirring the pot tonight, or else we'd be in trouble.
yeah, we would have been. They will be back next week eating their nasty stuff. I can't remember what Joe's eating. Jason's
Ew.
eating cottage cheese and mayo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Jay is going to be eating vanilla wafer with a slice of Velveeta cheese and spreadable spam.
That I could do. That's not too bad. The cottage cheese, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like cottage cheese anyway.
Oh, I'm gagging.
I can't. Have either of you done a reading and picked up what happened to someone as they were passing? You mean as far as reading someone as they're passing?
Yes.
I've never read anybody as they're passing.
Yeah. I have twice. I've had people visit me um, right before they passed, like within 5 minutes. Like I was driving the car. One of them, I was driving the car and she was literally sitting beside me. And I looked at her and I said, "Today's a good day. Sky's blue. It's a good day for your wings." And within 5 minutes, her daughter in law called me and said, "I just want to let you know mom just passed."
Oh wow.
And it was one of my good friends. Like her mom was my good friend. Um, and then another one was a family. I had a family member that I just woke up from a dead sleep and I looked at my phone and I just happened to look at my phone and it was the same thing. It was my aunt that I was very close to. And my cousin said, um, "If you're going to say goodbye to mom, you need to come now." And I don't wake up for nothing when I'm asleep. You know that I could sleep through a
Right.
train wreck. And it was just bam. Like she woke me up and I went there and she was incoherent. Like by the time I got there, she was in and out.
Hmm.
It was like right at that point where you're kind of back and forth between worlds and she was there and I thought, you know what? It's weird. It's really weird to kind of get that call from somebody like, "Hey, I'm okay, I'm about to cross." Really strange.
Yeah, I've no. She said, like, no, like a family member. I have not. I knew I wasn't present when my grandma passed away, but I knew when she did because, like you were saying, she came to me in a dream, and I can even to this day, and it's probably been probably 28 years. I can tell you to this day what she was wearing in that dream.
Hmm.
Um, because she came to me and told me that she had just passed. And actually, she said, died. I just died. And you're going to have to take care of your dad because he's not going to handle it very well.
Hmm.
And I know that you're not, because I was getting ready to have surgery on my stomach. And she said, I know you're getting ready to have surgery and you can't make it to the funeral, and that's okay. And I woke up, and the phone at that time was sitting on my headboard of the bed. And my phone rang. It was my dad telling me that she had passed.
Wow.
But I saw her. Two of my cousins had dream visits from her, and I think it was one of my aunts um, saw her room light up with like a ball lightning inside the house and go away. and it was all about the same time. And we didn't find out it was the same time until like 2 years later
Wow.
because we were all talking about it.
Maybe we could talk about that next week, dream physics.
Okay. Okay. That sounds interesting. So,
So if anybody's had experiences, tune in next week and chat with us about it
oh,
because that would be
absolutely.
super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kara, message me and let me know what you're talking about. So we will, yes, we do weekly, Melissa, unless I put something out saying that we're not doing a show. Sometimes we're not feeling well or Tina has to
I have
work.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually do 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Tuesdays. We'll
Yep.
start. I've got to get back in the habit of advertising more often. So
So, well, your shift got canceled today because we weren't going to go. It was funny because we weren't going to go and the guys were. And then Tina's shift got canceled, so we were going to go, and then the guys canceled.
yes.
So, all right. Well, everybody have a great week. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Good night.